Hi everyone, it's day 5 of BoomerTECH Adventures iPhone Challenge. This is Jill. I'm your Boomer Guide Adventures for today. Your guide from BoomerTECH Adventures. Let's get that right. So far this week, we have explored how to use the flashlight in a variety of ways. We have looked at how you download software and why you should. Also have visited the App Store and made sure everybody knew how to download an app. And yesterday, those who tuned in were able to stop their phone screen from flipping from horizontal to vertical and back to horizontal again if they so desired. Well, today we're going to do a little traveling. So we need to sort of get into excitement mode. We're going to need our passports, probably some suntan lotion. And if we need suntan lotion, definitely need a sun hat. Now, just in case, we're also going to take an umbrella along because we may visit places other than just sunny. So what am I talking about, for heaven's sakes? Well, every iPhone comes with an app called Maps. And this Maps app can help you do a variety of things. It can help you get from point A to point B. And it also can help you find stores and cafes near where you are, find transit routes, and also help you plan in advance. So let's get started. So I'm going to turn the camera around so that you're looking at my iPhone. All right, there it is. You notice it's turned off. So the first thing I want to make sure that you know how to do is how to activate your phone in a hands-free manner so you can get directions. So if you have a relatively new iPhone, all you have to do is say, "Hey Siri, I need directions to Freeport, Maine."
Getting directions to Freeport.
Now I'm going to hit go.
Starting route to Freeport. Head northwest on Libby Street, then turn left onto Summer Street.
And there I have my directions. Now right now I'm going to end that. Whoops, it helps if I hit my phone and not the screen. There we go, end route. All right, so that is the fastest way to use Maps in a very easy manner. It's hands-free. All you have to do is say, "Hey Siri." Thanks, Siri. I don't need you now.
I thought not.
And a voice will come up and ask you what you need, and you give the directions. Now, sometimes, however, you might want to know what your options are before you leave home or you leave where you're staying. So let's talk about using Maps in that fashion. So in this case, I'm going to hit my home button on my phone all the way back. And there you see the Maps app. It's the one with a little, has a little map on it with a route number. Whoops, there's also my cat who thinks that it would be fun to play with the pointer. So I'm going to open it. And you will notice that there is a pulsing blue dot. That's indicating where I am. I'm in Lisbon Falls, Maine right now. And let's think that I want to get live, it's not live TV, live Facebook. My cat was sound asleep when I started, and she's woken up, and so I'll give her something to play with. Anyway, so you open it up and it will show where you are. Now, it also shows where the last place you wanted to go. So you see there's a little X there. I'm just going to close that out. So now it says search for a place or address. So I'm going to tap there, and that will bring up my keyboard. But it also brings up these other things like food, drinks, shopping, travel. What are all these? Well, this is the app's attempt to help you find things you want near to where you are at the current time. So this is using my GPS. It knows I'm in Lisbon Falls. And so whatever one of these I tap, it will show me what's nearby in Lisbon Falls. So let's say I'm going to tap shopping. All right, now you see I have a variety of choices. Do I want to go to a shopping center? Do I want to go to a grocery store? Am I looking for apparel, home and office, etc., etc.? So let's say I need to go to groceries. So I do that, and what should pop up, it's loading, you see. What's eventually going to pop up is showing you grocery stores that are nearby. And I don't know why it's taking so long. So I'm going to, oh, there we go. Here we go. So you see very close to my pulsing blue dot is Food City, and then there's Wicked Good Steaks, Hannaford's, etc. And then if I just scroll down here, I see more information. So Food City has a 4-star review on Yelp, and that's the closest one to me, 1.3. Hannaford's is a little further away, and there's a Walmart superstore. So that's one of the things that maps will help you do. Now you see the X, I'm going to close out of there. And let's just look at another possibility. So let's say I'm thirsty, I'm traveling with friends. I want to find something to drink. Maybe I want to go to a coffee shop, so I'm going to tap that. Hopefully this isn't going to take as long to load. Nope. So there you see the places that I can go find coffee nearby. So that's what that is. So let me just cancel out of that. So now you see the cursor is blinking right up here. And what I'm going to do is tap in an address. So I'm going to tap in Main Street. Let's go to Lewiston, Maine. You see it's giving me Maine. Whoops, I didn't spell Lewiston right. That won't work. It's giving me the option for New York City. And I didn't spell anything correctly. Oh my goodness. Let's try this again. Main Street, there we go. All right, there. All right, so let's do a search. You see the map moves, and there we are at Lewiston, Maine, on Main Street. Now, if I want to go to directions, notice what happens. Look down here at the bottom. You see I can get driving directions, walking directions, transit directions, or ride. What that ride refers to is that people have apps for Uber and Lyft, which are those new companies that provide rides, and you can communicate with them through an app. Now, I don't happen to have one of those apps on my phone, so nothing will show up. If I tap transit, you'll see, for me, because I live in rural Maine, transit directions are not available. But if I were in downtown Portland, I would be able to see that. And we'll look elsewhere. If I want to walk there, you can see it will take me 4 hours and 12 minutes, and it will give me a direction. Or if I'm going to drive, it will get me there in 26 minutes, a little faster than walking. But you also need to know that maps will give you alternative routes. You can go up, I can go up Lisbon Street, I can go a more leisurely back road, etc. And there are also driving options. So if I tap that, you can see I can turn on avoid tolls and highways. So sometimes it's fun just to go the back routes and not hit the interstates. Well, if you want to do that when you're looking for a route, you just turn that on. So again, you're always in control. And if you don't want to take any toll roads, you can turn that on and off. Okay, so let's just review the things that you can find out once you put an address in. You can get driving directions, and with the driving directions, you can get alternative routes, and you can opt out of tolls and highways. You also can get walking directions, transit directions if you happen to be in a place where there are streetcars and subways and buses, or if you have the Uber or the Lyft app, you can use those. So that's pretty straightforward. Now, what's exciting, or what I find exciting, because I really enjoy maps, is when I'm traveling, I like to look at where I'm going ahead of time. And you can do that with maps. So one of the things I did just for fun the other day, while Chris Toy and I were coming back from Waterville, I Googled what were the 10 most popular destinations in the world. And TripAdvisor, of course, has data on that. And they gave me 10 selections. And this is where the sun hat and the sunscreen and the passport all come into play. Now I want you to think a minute. What do you suppose the top destination according to TripAdvisor is? Did you guess Bali? Bali, Indonesia? Well, that's it. So let's see what it's like in Bali, Indonesia. So I am going to get out of Main Street, Lewiston. I'm going to search for a place, and I'm simply going to tap in Bali. And whoops, I am having problems with spelling today. Okay, let's try again. Capital B A L I. Capital I-N. I left out the D. Well, it came up anyway. There we go. So now we're going across the world, and we can see, let me put this on the horizontal. We can see where Bali is in relationship to other islands, other parts of the world. And if we can make the map a little bigger, and we can see sort of what it's looking like. And do you notice over here, there's an I? That's for information. So let's just tap that. So it gives me 3 choices. If I just want to see the map, I can do that. If I want to see whether there's any transit, I can do that. Not seeing too much public transportation there. And if I want to see the satellite, which is kind of cool, it'll probably take a minute to load. Oh, an awful lot of green. Okay, now let's close that out. We're certainly not going to look for directions to Bali because, I don't know whether I'm going to sail there or take a plane. But what if I have actually found where I want to stay? Well, I can then put that in and find out what's close at hand. So I looked up and I found one of the most expensive resorts. I was feeling rich, was the Ritz-Carlton. All right, so I'm simply going to type in Carlton Resort. And I want to add Bali because, of course, the Ritz-Carltons are all over the world. And let's see what I find. So there, again, I'm still on satellite view. I can see where the particular resort is, and it's down on this little, almost an island. It looks like it's connected only by causeways. And again, I can make it bigger and see what sorts of things are around. I can go back to information, but now I see 3D. What happens when I put that? And I get more of a 3D look at it. It's kind of interesting. And again, I can just go back to the map. So if you're planning your vacation, that's kind of fun. Now, Bali certainly explains the suntan lotion and the sun hat. But why did I bring an umbrella? Well, the second most traveled to place is London, England. So let's go to London just very quickly. Oh, Buckingham Palace, London. You see how that pops up? So I'm just going to tap in there and say, once again, I can find out what's close. So if I'm staying in a hotel near Buckingham Palace, I know that I can walk to all these other places that seem to be pretty close. The Royal Mews, House of Fraser, not sure what that is. There's a hotel. But I can begin to see where my hotel or where possible hotels are located. Now, we know London has a transit for sure. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to close that. And now you can see, that the different subways, metros are there, the different lines. So there's the Jubilee line. Whoops, that's not showing up very well, is it? There we go. Sorry about that. Let me get this repositioned. There. It shows up the different subway lines, and then if I go back, I can go to satellite, and once again, I can see what it looks like. I can add 3D. Oh, that wasn't 3D, sorry. All right, so that's the sorts of things that you can do with your maps. So let's just review. And let me turn the key back. So I'm still in my sun hat. Here in Maine, we're looking at a week of rain coming up. And so I am optimistic that I will need this sometime before September. So let's review. If you want to do a hands-free, find the directions, you're in the middle of the highway and you're lost, you can go, "Hey Siri," and the directions will come up, and you can tell her where, or tell him where you'd like to go. Secondly, if you open the Maps app, you can put in an address and you can find driving directions, walking directions, transit directions, and if you have some of the apps for Uber or Lyft, you can work through those. And lastly, it's a way that you can explore a place you plan to visit to see what's near your hotels or what sites are next to one another. So it's a really very handy little app. So that's it.
Which will? You have 15.
Sorry about that, Siri. Let me turn Siri off. There we go. Siri was responding to everything I said. Okay, so thank you for stopping by. Again, this has been day 5 of the BoomerTECH Adventures 5-day iPhone challenge. If you're on our mailing list, you're going to receive an email from Ed tomorrow talking about other options. We remind you to have fun with your iPhone. It is more than just a phone. Remember that the smartphones of today have more power than the computers that sent our men to the moon, 1969. That's pretty amazing when you think that you're holding in your hand more power than what they used to send the first men to the moon. So remember that you can certainly communicate with the phone, but you can communicate with Facebook Live, or you can blog, or you can text. You can take pictures, you can shoot video, you can keep track of your golf scores, you can keep track of appointments. It's just amazing what our phones can do. So for us boomers and seniors who are sometimes a little nervous to try things that we're not sure of, picture yourself as 13, and 13-year-olds just go in and play. You're not going to break anything. So enjoy your phone. Remember that if you want to see any of the challenge videos, they are all on the BoomerTECH Adventures Facebook page. They will stay there, and you can revisit them. We say, what did he say about that flashlight turning it into a lantern? That was really cool, but I don't remember how he did it. Well, you can come back to our Facebook page, and the video will be there. So thanks for stopping by. If you've never visited BoomerTECH Adventures webpage, you should, BoomerTECHadventures.com. And please stay tuned to our Facebook page because there will be more events like this. Thanks for dropping by. Have a good weekend.